right, y'all. If you are planning to do the 7 Hanging Valleys hike, I'm going to say hike and not tour, walk, because it was a hike, then you're going to want to listen to this video. So for those who are new here, I am Brianne, and I am going over all of my 2025 travel extravaganzas, and this week we're talking all about Portugal. Now, of course, the girlies, meaning me and my 2 sisters, had done a bunch of research on TikTok around like best places to go, whether it was restaurants, beaches, tourist attractions, all that jazz on TikTok. And the girlies were raving about this 7 Hanging Valleys trail. So we said, let's take the parentals out. Like, from what we saw on TikTok, it was definitely one of those experiences that was once in a lifetime. Like, you're never gonna see this exact type of landscape and, you know, just views from these cliffs anywhere else in the world. So we do the drive. We probably around 10 a.m. or so, we drove from Lagos, and we went to the very first place, which was Praia da Marina. I hope I said that somewhat correct. But we essentially went to the far end of the trail, parked the car there because we said, okay, if we park the car at the far end, then we walk our way down the trail and then we can take an Uber back to the car. Mind you, we're here thinking any other trail you've been on, whether you think of Manhattan Beach in California, or you think of, a trail on Barbados where you're on the beach, typically everything is a nice flat path. But baby, this was not the case, okay? Portugal does things very different. We were over here climbing on rocks. We're trying to scale the side of the cliffs and figure out, okay, where are we placing our foot so that we don't fall off, while also enjoying the views. And so I will say we started around noon, and it wasn't too far into it where I was like, okay, so there's no path. There's no asphalt. There's no paved path whatsoever. We're literally out here hiking. And I've done my full fair share of hikes. I've lived in Seattle. I've done, a ton of hiking in my lifetime. But with 2 parents who are at least 50 years old, let's put it that way, at the time. No, they were both over 60 at the time. I'm gonna put some respect on their age. Nonetheless, this is not it for this is not it for a hot summer day in Portugal where you just want to take in the views. And part of the reason that we did end up doing the trail route versus doing the boat route is because the day before we did a fishing trip, and it was in a part a bit farther north in the Algarve that we did the fishing trip. But nonetheless, those waves were not fun. It was not giving, ooh, let's just stay out and use up the entire time that is allotted to us for this excursion. No, we were ready to go. And so thinking about putting ourselves back in that predicament for 2.0 the next day, it just was not giving. And the girls on TikTok really made it seem like it was, a smooth process, but it's not. As someone who has done, who has done several hikes before, it is absolutely not intermediate whatsoever. If anything, I would say it's closer to hard / yeah, it's giving in between intermediate to hard. You also have the reality that if you want to bring any type of hydration, that's going to add weight to, whatever bag you're carrying. I just felt like it was challenging because you want to ideally go down to the beaches, get in the water. So you don't, of course, want to bring too much in your bags because God forbid someone gets a little curious and you come back and your cameras and all that are gone. So I think for us, it was just a challenge because we were we wanted to experience the beauty. It was absolutely stunning. We'll have those pictures for life and, the memories for life. But I would definitely recommend, like, if you are going with a family and wanting to take advantage of the beaches, take in the views, and feel as though you can have a relaxing experience, don't hike the trail. I think I remember we had to pay to park, and then we got all the way down from the Marinha beach. We got all the way down from there to the Bengal beach, where, you know, that's like famous for the tourism. And I think one thing that was interesting was that they did have a boat experience if you just wanted to go from the beach to actually see the cave. That was something we opted out of because, again, the waves just looked sick. Like, no. But also it was like we saw so many cool viewpoints, you know, for the 2-3 hours that we were hiking already, where it was just like, okay, we've seen what we need to see. The water is freezing. Okay. The water was so cold that I think my sisters might have gotten past like waist deep, but as for me, I was like, I'm not trying to catch a cold just for the sake of like saying I got in this water. So yeah, and I will say they do have people like who have stands on the side as you go, you know, from one side of as you do the hike. But keep in mind that those people do charge a brick because they know the convenience of like, oh my God, there's coconut water, there's fruit, there's water, period. Because I ran out. I didn't realize how much this was gonna, you know, require out of my body. So yeah, it's definitely something to, like, if you want to go and like truly hike, I do recommend going earlier in the day. And I think we got about maybe a third or halfway through the hike when we walked through the trail. And then once we got to the Bengal cave, we were like, yeah, let's just call the Uber back to the car. But what was fascinating with that is like it felt like the Uber drive was like 5 minutes, but it took us like hours to get from where our car was to the Bengal cave. So that is a 411, just like FYI. Either do the boat version if you don't necessarily have like a sensitive stomach like I do, or do it where you're essentially parking the car close to the major viewpoints, and then you know, get out the car, take your pictures, see the vibes, all that jazz. Or the third thing is like, be prepared to hike. If you are going and you desire to see, like, I think it was 7, like all 7 of those viewpoints, bring hiking shoes, but also bring your, you know, your flops so you can get in the water, and the bathing suit. I don't know, it was a lot. We were like, I think we took a good old nap when we got home. Because it definitely exerted a lot of energy. But I hope this is helpful for anyone who is considering this excursion. Definitely worth it for the views, for sure. But just be mindful about what you're getting yourself into, especially if you have, you know, parents who you need to be intentional around what you're setting them up for. So that is all for today's video. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day.